depressed, they harbor things, they want attention. So, because they brood over these things for a long time, when they don't talk about it, they get wounded, they are scarred, and then they end up looking for attention and attraction elsewhere. They end up going on drugs, they end up going on alcohol, they end up being homosexuals, they end up being lesbians. I have a school called School of Restoration. School of Restoration is a school for social misfits, ex-convicts, for drug addicts, for drunkards, for homosexuals. I mean, all of these people who want to change, they come into the school. And trust me, according to my research and relating to them, 90% of them are melancholics. Why? Because something happened when they were growing up. They never talked about it. They kept it. They kept it. They kept it. They kept it for so long. And much later, trying to bring it out, they ended up among bad friends, among drug addicts, among alcoholics, and all that. I remember when we were children, I told you that my sister and I used to share a bedroom. I mean, the positive side, she was very neat. She would always arrange her makeups, her shoes, her bags, her belts. I mean, everything was well arranged. Her bed was well laid. I mean, you enter into the room and you can tell my portion of the room and the portion of her room. But some way, somehow, every day my sister will come to me and tell me she wants to commit suicide. Every time. And I'll run to my parents, especially my dad, and tell him that this is what my sister wants to do. My father will go like this. If she wants to kill herself, I mean, but what they didn't know, and I can understand, in those days there wasn't too much knowledge. This is what a melancholy child goes through. When they are not made to talk about what is inside of them, what they are going through. Maybe they are going through maltreatment, maybe a teacher is not treating them well, maybe there's a bully in the school, maybe they have issues with the academic work, maybe the parent is expecting too much from them. As they harbor and harbor and harbor, they end up becoming very suicidal. I remember at one point, my sister would come to me and tell me, you know what, I don't think our mother is our mother. I think our mother is our stepmother. And I wasn't seeing what she was seeing. My mom was strict on all of us. My dad was also strict. I mean, unfortunately, both parents were. But I think that they needed to handle her in some way. They needed attention for her. And this is what I'll be talking about from next week. From next week, we'll be talking about temperaments and parenting. As a parent, the way you must train up each child. My darling, you can't give them equal love. You can't give them the same kind of training. The melancholy needs extra love. I mentioned it the day Reverend Derek and Mama Adela came on, that I handle temperaments in London, then in our church in South London. And Reverend Charles used to be the pastor, senior pastor of our church in South London. Now he's the senior pastor of our IMC church. And I watched I think his second son, who today is in lower six in the UK. He would never smile. He would not laugh. He was always moody. He would always frown. You would never go to their house and he would say hello to you. All the others, Jaden, all of them, Sam, will come. Hello, Auntie. Hello, Mama Rita. How are you, Mama Rita? How is Ghana? Is everything okay? Brian will be the only one who will not come to you. So I looked at him and I said to his parents, Reverend Charles and Mama Rabba, that your son is a melancholy. And you need to keep an eye on him. I told them the traits of melancholies and what they must do. So then they even began to tell me the reports in school, that every time his report came, the teacher would say he's not friendly, he's not helpful, he doesn't play with his friends in school. I mean, every term, you know, and every class he went to, the teachers will pass these remarks. And you know, especially when it comes to schools in their diaspora, they are so particular about these things. So I told them, give him extra love, give him extra attention. So what Reverend Charles started doing, anytime he was in his study, studying or preparing sermons or whatever, he will bring Brian in to be by his side and he will chat with him and all that. And something funny used to happen. Anytime Brian came in, he locked the door so that nobody will come. Anytime any of the other of his siblings wanted to come in, he would tell them, Daddy's tired. Daddy doesn't want disturbance. If Daddy is tired, what are you doing inside? But he said, this is what a melancholic child is. They always want attention. They always want to be close to mommy and daddy. They always want physical, you know, touch and all that. So if you don't give it to them, number one, it affects the academic work. Number two, they end up becoming more moody. They get more depressed, and they are not friendly. And if you are not careful, the slightest thing that happens to them, then they become suicidal. So I hope parents are listening. Number 6 and 7, and I'll be done with melancholy. Focus their minds on what they must be thankful for. Focus their minds on what they must be thankful for. They have something to be thankful for. The melancholies always think that somebody is better than me. Somebody is more intelligent than me. Somebody is more handsome than me. Somebody is more beautiful than me. Mommy loves somebody more than me. Daddy loves somebody more than me. Brother A or Brother C has more attention in the home more than me. They always think that something is not right with them. So continually, you must let them be thankful. Thankful for the food they have. Thankful for the clothes they have. When they do well in class, they must be thankful. They must thank God. Once they learn to thank God and thankful for whatever they have, now they don't dwell too much on their negatives. But otherwise, trust me, there's somebody I worked with. And at that time, I wasn't too vexed with temperament, so I couldn't help her. This lady would always come to me, hey, Mama Rita, look at you. As for you, you are beautiful. As for me, I'm not beautiful. Another time, she'll come to me, oh, Mama Rita, you speak so well. As for me, I can't talk at all. I can't talk before people. She'll come to me. Another time, hey, Mama Rita, you are intelligent. As for me, I'm not intelligent. If you are not intelligent, what are you doing in the bank? If you are not beautiful, what are you doing in the bank? Little did I know that she was a melancholy. And she would continually compare herself with people and always think that others are better than them. My darling, nobody is better than you. Look at yourself in the mirror and you will know everybody is wonderfully and fearfully made. Wonderfully means that we have our positives, we have things working for us, we have our strengths. And fearfully is our disadvantages, our negatives, things that don't work well for us. Everybody has it. Trust me, I know I'm beautiful, but there are other parts of my body I wish God had done it better. That doesn't make me less of a human being than another person. So please, let's teach our melancholy children to be very thankful. And then the last, you must always teach them early that success and failure is part of life. Sometimes you fail exams. Sometimes you pass your exams. It is part of life. Sometimes things work out well for you. Sometimes things do not work out for you. It is part of life. It is part of growing up. That is why when my children were young, sometimes when they failed their exams, I never scolded them. My darling, it is part of life. It's been researched, and I want parents to listen to me carefully. It's been researched that children who never fail exams, children that never have go through negative sides, children that never go through struggles, everything works out for them. Right from nursery, they are passing all their exams, 90%. They are always collecting prizes. Everything goes well for them. Teenage, things are well. They enter into university, things are well. The first boyfriend or girlfriend they get, when they dump them, they get very suicidal. At work, if they are not very productive and they want to change them a bit from one department to the other, they get very suicidal. So please, let's teach the melancholy child. If things are okay, they must thank God. If things are not okay, today they make 90%. Oh, clap for them. The next time when they make 40%, let them know that it is part of life. And that is the way God expects us to be. If you are born again and you think that everything will be summer for you all through, please. There's summer, there's winter. There's rainy season, there is sunny season. If things are okay, oh, praise God. But the day things are not okay and there's a bit of failure in your life, let's accept it. Let's work on it and let's move on. We will go on a short commercial break and then I'll move to the phlegmatic child. I hope you have learned something on the melancholy child. And please, somebody called me today and said, Mama Rita, what do you think my temperament is? And I said, you are a melancholy. So she asked me, how do you know I'm a melancholy? I said, you are A, B, C. And this is a very old person asking me this. I said, because you are A, B, C, D. Please, I'm not teaching these things for fun. Make notes. Know yourself. Know your children. Once you know your children, you will know how to train them. You will know how to help them, and they'll be better people in future. We will go for this short commercial break, and we'll be back.
Hi, praise the name of the Lord. Hallelujah. Takrady Apostle General is coming to town, and I'll be hosted by my son, the Reverend Commander Koto. And it is happening from Wednesday the 26th to Sunday the 30th of October. Hey, men of God are going to be here. Great women of God are going to be there. Great mighty musicians. Joe Beecham will be there. Pastor Joe Beecham will be there. And Pastor Koda will be there. And many others. And I'm coming from Accra with a powerful team to come and team up with the men and the women of God in Takoradi for the celebration of God's goodness. Get ready and be ready and start praying. Heaven is about to open up on you, and God is about to usher you into the manifestation of His glory. Hey, the glory is so close. Your testimony is so close. Make a date with me from Wednesday to Sunday, the 26th, and to the 30th of October. The venue, Takoradi Technical University. God bless you. From the 26th to the 30th of October with Reverend Commander Corty. God richly bless you. I love you.
The Royal House Chapel International Trinity Temple present One Day with the Apostle
What you
General.
are experiencing right now is called baptism of happiness.
Apostle General Sam Crunchy-Ankra and Reverend Mrs. Rita Crunchy-Ankra come and celebrate the communion and dedication of the Trinity Temple of Royal House Chapel Takoradi Assembly. Theme, His Glory, taken from 1 Kings 8 to 11. Your host pastor is Reverend Peter Messi. You may see Babado 30th October 2022, 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. for Trinity Temple Takoradi off Efianu Road, Oben Samalo. Come, witness and celebrate the glory of God.
Welcome back to Family Life with Mama Rita. We've been handling temperaments and children, or temperament and the child. As parents, as teachers, we need to know the temperaments of our children and our wards. Once we know their temperaments, we know that this is the way they are, we can train them in that way and in that manner. And trust me, once we know and we handle them as such, it will help them so well. Next week, we are going into temperament and parenting. And like I said to you when I was handling temperaments in the UK, and I taught Reverend Charles and Mama Raba, and they started giving Brian very good attention, more attention, and giving him extra love and all that. Guess what? All of a sudden, his reports change. Brian is now a very sweet guy. Brian is friendly in school. Brian is helping other people. Brian is smiling in school. I mean, just the little, love and attention they gave to him made a lot and a lot of difference in his life. We are going straight away to phlegmatic child. The phlegmatic child is the peaceful phlegmatic. Their slogan, let's do it the easy way. They like everything easy. Their desire is to avoid conflict and keep peace. The phlegmatic child is the one who will say the classic child. He sleeps well. They hardly cry. If you don't wake them up to give them their food, they'll be lying down. In a large and busy household, the phlegmatic child is a true gift. And I think I should have known this when I had my first child, Pastor Naka. Pastor Naka never cried. I mean, she's one baby. Oh, I was so blessed. First child, firstborn. I had never had a child before. I didn't know anything about motherhood and parenting. Oh my God. Nanakos wakes up in the middle of the night and she puts her thumb in her mouth and she's sucking. If for 2 hours you haven't checked, she will be there. She will never cry. She wets her napkin. She won't cry. We traveled with her when she was about 6 months old to Takoradi. Please, I said Takoradi. It was my traveling in those days. You won't think, I mean, we didn't have a car, we went with state transport, public transport. And you won't think we were traveling with a baby. She never cried throughout. In those days, it was about 4 or 5 hours journey. She never cried. She never worried me for breast milk. Nothing. All I did was feed her from the bottle because we were in the public transport. And this is a phlegmatic child for you. I mean, a true gift. I remember when I hadn't started work, you know, and I was at home with her. Our next door neighbor, there was somebody very close to our house, will come for Nanako. She's called Adokali. Adokali, if you are listening to me, thank you so much. I haven't seen you in ages. Come and see what your baby has become. Today, she's a lawyer. Adokali will come for Nanakos in the morning. Guess what time she brings Nanakos to me? She will bring Nanakos about 8 p.m. Nanakos will never cry, will not worry her. I will have time and wash and cook, tidy up, and go to the market, do everything before she brings Nanakos. Nanakos will never, ever worry her. So phlegmatic children are a gift. Their key strength, their pleasing personality. You would love the phleg. They have a sense of humor, and they are good listeners. Their weaknesses, their indecisiveness, low enthusiasm or energy, their hidden stubbornness, and they are very indifferent. Indifferent. It doesn't care what somebody is doing. They don't care. They don't care the dress you are wearing. Everybody is going to school. They don't care. I mean, they don't care about anything. They mind their own business. Their emotional needs, sense of respect. They like to be respected. Feeling worth. And then understanding their emotional support. They are recognized by their calm approach. They are mediator. I mean, they are mediators. They are peacemakers. Everywhere a phlegmatic is, they are peaceful. Oh, it's okay, let's leave it. Monko, you know, one may, hey, let's leave it. You know, very, very peaceful people. And they are problem solvers because they are peacemakers, they are problem solvers. In training up of the phlegmatic child, the training of a phlegmatic child is very difficult. It's difficult because externally they are not influenced. Internally, they are not motivated. So it makes their training very difficult. They are not externally influenced, and then internally, they are not motivated by anything. Number 2, in training up of a phlegmatic child, begin very early, at a very early age, for them to make choices in life. Simple choices. They need to make choices. Help them to decide. I remember when Nanakos was young, you go to the shop with Nanakos and you ask her to pick something. She says, "Mommy, anything you pick for me." She never could make a choice as to, I want this dress, I want a Barbie dress. No. Meanwhile, at age 6, anytime we traveled and I entered into a shop with my sanguine daughter, Deacon Nadromo today, she knows exactly what she wants. If you ask Nadromo, oh, sorry, late Mrs. Collison, wherever you are, may the Lord bless your soul and remember us in heaven. Mrs. Collison will go shopping with Nadromo and tell Nadromo, this trousers is nice, this skirt is nice, this top. She'll tell you, no, Auntie Christabel, I don't like it. I said I don't like it and I won't take it. I mean, she doesn't care you are buying it for her. She will pick what she wants. And when she picks what she wants, she will wear it and wear it well. As little children, anytime I was traveling without them, I would ask everybody to make a list. Pastor Naka will never make a list. Nadromo will make 2 pages lists of the things she wanted. So very early in life, you need to let them know or learn how to choose their own things. Let them choose their clothing for school. Let them choose their clothing for church. If they have 3, 4 shoes, let them decide what they want. Teach them early how to make choices. And the day they make very good choices, praise them for the good choice they made. Help them to be very involved with sports. They don't like physical activities. Phlegmatics don't like physical activities. So you need to encourage them to join a club, a physical club, a football club. Now there's no netball, volleyball, swimming. Teach them to be part of it. I want every parent to listen to me. The phlegmatic child is naturally a peaceful child. They like peace around them. They like harmony around them. So if you have a phlegmatic child, make sure you don't argue before them. Don't quarrel before them. Don't fight before them. Don't exchange words before them. If you try, you end up making them sick. I mean, physically sick. If you have a child, a phlegmatic child, and the child is always sick, check it. Maybe there's no peace at home. Maybe there's too much arguments at home. Maybe there's too much quarreling at home. Maybe there's too much exchange of words at home. They don't like conflict. They don't like contention. So make sure that all your insults, all your quarrels, all your exchanges must be done behind closed doors. Don't let them see you argue, quarrel, fight, or anything. Otherwise, every time you will pay medical bills. Because they are quiet, number 3 or 4, I think number 4. Because they are quiet and submissive everywhere they go, especially in the classroom. And I always call them the teacher like me people. They do what the teacher says. Nanakos never spoke in class. She collected best student award. Hey, is it best student? Best behaved child award. A morning star from nursery till she finished class 6 and she moved to JSS. Every year she collected best behaved. Because they don't talk in class, it is very possible for teachers to ignore them. It is very possible for the teachers to think that everything is okay with them. So if you're a parent and you have a phlegmatic child, please be responsible. At least, if not every week, once every month, go to their school, go to their class, find out, engage the teacher. Is everything okay with my child? Is she doing well? Is she talking in class? Is she answering questions? They are so quiet. If you don't ask them, call them, Nana codes, this answer, this question, answer. They know the answer, but they would allow other people to answer. They will never raise their hands and answer. And because of that, it is so possible for teachers to ignore them, even if they have problems. So please frequent their school, frequent their class, and find out if everything is okay with them. They must be encouraged with much love and praise. If not, they might never find their own talents, strengths, and interests. They must be praised. When they do the right thing, praise them. Because they quarrel. If you don't praise them, they will never find their own talent. They will never find their own strength. They will never find their own interest. Yelling, nagging, lecturing them. If you continue, they will withdraw and they would be very, very discouraged in moving forward in life. These young people need encouragement. They need praise, gentle criticism, and then remind them to do the right thing. Number 8, I don't know which number I am now. In talking to a phlegmatic, because they are quiet, they don't talk, you need to take your time, explain things to them, make sure they understand you, make sure that whatever you are saying, they understand you. Otherwise, trust me, you will think they've heard you, but they haven't heard you. The people, they don't talk. I remember when Nanakosi was young, when she did something and you scolded her, she wouldn't say anything. Whether she was insulting you in her head or not, you don't know. She goes to school and somebody bullies her, she won't talk about it. When we travel and we leave her with other people in the house, whether she's being treated well, whether she's being maltreated, whether what, she won't talk. I remember when she was in nursery, you won't believe it. There was another friend of hers. Anytime I talk about this, I get so sad. I was so busy, I was working in the bank. I would drop them quickly in school, and then after school, I pick them because my husband was out of the country for greener pastures. And every time we get home, I'm quick to help them with their homework, with their assignments, to prepare their snacks, to prepare their uniform, their socks, lunch box, that kind of thing. So I think I wasn't paying too much attention. But one day, as I washed her bottle, water bottle or her drink bottle, I could smell this bad odor stench from her bottle. And I said, this is a bottle I wash every day. Why? Am I not washing it? Well, what? You won't believe it. So I called Nanakos and I said, Nanakos, I don't like the smell in your bottle. I don't give you spoiled drink. And anytime you come home, the drink is finished. So what is happening? What is happening with, you won't believe it. Apparently, a bully in her class was wee-weeing in her bottle. After school, when they were all waiting for parents to pick them up, wee-wee in her water bottle. She saw it, never talked about it. The following day, I will wash it, or that evening when we get home, I will wash it and refill it with her drink for the following day, put it in the fridge. And she never spoke about it until I asked her. And this is a phlegmatic child for you. They don't talk. They don't complain. If a teacher is molesting them, if there's a bully in their class bullying them, if the maid servant is beating them, if somebody is eating their snack, eating their food, they will never talk about it. So please, If you have a child who is a phlegmatic, you need to engage them. Find out, did somebody bully you in school? Did somebody eat your food? When I wasn't there, the maid servant. I mean, you need to involve them. If you don't, anything that happens, trust me, they won't tell you. On that note, I want to say a very big thank you to Abigail Baden. Today I mentioned the name well. Last week I said Abigail Baidu. Last week, I was too stressed. I was tired, the place, oh my God. But today I am more relaxed. I think I love my clothes. Abigail Baden, Abby Bade, thank you so much for making me look very beautiful. I love my dress. I really, really love my dress. When I was coming, my husband wasn't at home because he had gone on a mission trip to Takoradi. He didn't see me, but I'm sure he will watch this and see that his wife is looking beautiful. Thank you, Abby Bate. We will go on a short break and I will bring in my guests for today. Please let your questions flow. Anything you want to know about your child's temperament or whatever, please ask questions. If there are any questions from last week we didn't answer, we would answer all of them today. God bless. The community I grew up in impacted stubborn fearlessness in me. I grew up as an outspoken child and was often regarded as loud, naughty, arrogant, and rowdy. I was misunderstood and considered very difficult to deal with because I always stated my stance, objected to opposing views, and strongly defended what I believed in.
This is my story. It's an autobiographical account of the life of Reverend Mrs. Rita Ankra. It takes us through an intimate journey of her life in a small fishing community, Accra, Ghana, to the global stage of ministry where lives are transformed through the redemptive grace of God operating through His handmaiden. Get your copies now and be inspired. Order online on iBookstore, Amazon, and Barnes & Noble, royalhousechapel.org, or visit any major bookstore near you. For further inquiry, contact the Royal House Chapel office at Obechabi Lamte Interchange, Accra, or call 0302 221255.
Hi, praise the name of the Lord. Hallelujah. Takoradi Apostle General is coming to town, and I'll be hosted by my son, the Reverend Commander Koto. And it is happening from Wednesday the 26th to Sunday the 30th of October. Hey, men of God are going to be here. Great women of God are going to be there. Great mighty musicians. Joe Beecham will be there. Pastor Joe Beecham will be there. And Pastor Koda will be there, and many others. And I'm coming from Accra with a powerful team to come and team up with the men and the women of God in Takoradi for the celebration of God's goodness. Get ready and be ready and start praying. Heaven is about to open up on you, and God is about to usher you into the manifestation of His glory. Hey, the glory is so close. Your testimony is so close. Make a date with me from Wednesday to Sunday, the 26th, and to the 30th of October. The venue, Takoradi Technical University. God bless you. From the 26th to the 30th of October with Reverend Commander Korte. God richly bless you. I love you.
Welcome back to Family Life with Mama Rita. I feel very good in my African way. I haven't tied my hair in so long. Now I'm feeling not like a child and not like a girl, but I'm feeling like a mother this evening. Thank you so much, Auntie Abigail Baden, Abby Bate. Thank you for making me so beautiful. If you just join us, we are treating temperament and children, or temperament and the child. Last week, I handled the choleric child, and then I handled the sanguine child. And today, I've handled the phlegmatic child and then the melancholic child. With me this evening, our faces you know so well, Minister and Mrs. Fabio Wilson. They are always here with us. One of our parents in our teen service, and also one of my best pre-marriage marriage counselors. They are doing so well. They've raised a lot of married couples. Thank you so much for coming to the show one more time. I miss you. Yes, this is because of our oil dome. I don't see you. Yes. Oil dome is so big. Yesterday, I called somebody. I said, I haven't seen you for so long. She said, Mommy, I'm in church every Sunday. I said, where do you sit? It means you don't come to the altar. Because I see everybody that he says, I come.
Mommy, you know, for us, because of the teens.
Oh, because of the teens.
Yes,
wow.
So
wow.
Now we don't have the two services, so you don't see us maybe in the second service.
Okay,
yes.
Okay, I understand. But, well, you have reminded me, Mama Rosamond Yosen, the head of our teen service. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. May the Lord bless you and make you great. Amen. Make you succeed in everything that you do. May the Lord bless the works of your hands. Amen. Pastor Arita Tipo, happy birthday to you today. Amen. I have called both of you already and I have prayed for you. But I wish you a special happy birthday, a special family life happy birthday. Amen. And then Reverend Ima and Mama Mina, happy wedding anniversary. I can't believe it's come so fast. Just a few years ago, I was doing counseling with the two of you. You make me proud. God bless you and happy wedding anniversary. I know currently you are with our South London church doing mission work there. May the Lord use you mightily and powerfully. We will go straight to, yes, before we go to our question time. Every couple that comes, I ask this question: do you know your temperaments? If you do, how have you been able to cope with your temperament? I don't know who wants to start.
You will start. I think she should start.
Peggy.
So I've been.
I saw you last week Thursday when I did Women in Ministry. Yes. You were looking so beautiful.
Thank you, Mama.
When you came to the altar, I said, which American lady have I gotten here? I looked at your face and I said, my own Peggy, oh my God. My son is taking very good care of you.
Thank you, Mommy. So I've been male from growing up, but I've worked a lot on the temperament, and now I think I'm Fleg and Meg, and I have a lot of combinations, so I can't really tell what exactly I am now.
Wow.
I have a lot of mixture, a lot. I'm pushing people to like move forward in life, make it like I'm leading in a lot of things. I always find myself in leadership positions wherever I find myself, at the workplace, everything where they want me to be the leader. So basically, it's very difficult to tell.
But would you be able to tell the main one? Because everybody has one main one.
Yeah, I think the main one is
Fleg.
Fleg. Yeah, the main one is Fleg.
Your husband should be able to know what your temperament is.
Yes. So last week when we were watching the show, I think Pastor Papa and
Jacqueline.
And whilst we were going, we were watching, and I was telling Peggy that I see the temperaments just like ours.
Okay.
Because Pastor Papa felt Lady Jackie was more flag,
Yeah.
but she felt she was more male.
Okay.
And so we've gone through that, and I think, yes, so she's flag and male, but the flag comes more often, but
Okay.
you also see the male
Okay.
showing up,
Okay.
you know, a lot.
Okay.
And then for me, I am more male,
Okay.
and the flag also comes up.
Okay.
And I've noticed that, Mama Rita, since you started this show, all the male counselors who have sat here are male.
Wow.
Starting from
Wow,
Reverend
that's true.
Derek, Reverend Yosin, Pastor Papa. So it looks like the males do well in counseling.
Wow. Whoa. Let's wait. Let me bring the rest and then we'll see. I see, but I think the males do very well in counseling. Wow. So how have you been able to cope with your temperament?
Yeah, so for us, should I say unfortunately or fortunately, we didn't have our counseling in Royal House.
Okay.
Because she wasn't a member
Okay,
of
she
Royal
was
House.
coming from...
Yes.
Okay.
So when we did our counseling, we didn't go through
Temperaments.
temperaments like we would
Okay.
have done,
Okay.
you know,
Okay.
in Royal House.
Okay.
But for some reason, I got exposed to temperament, but in a different form. So in one of my previous employments,
Okay.
one of the things that they do is, as part of your orientation, you go through something like, you know, it's just like the temperament,
Okay.
but they use colors.
Okay.
So that you can identify.
Okay.
So for melancholy is green,
Okay.
for phlegmatic is
Okay.
blue,
Okay.
sanguine is yellow,
Okay.
and then choleric
Okay.
is red.
Okay.
So when
that's
you name-
another thing I would teach. Temperaments and colors, and then temperaments and elements. We have the earth, we have fire, we have air, and we have water. I don't want to go before myself. So we will talk about temperaments and colors, and then temperaments and elements.
So when your name tag is printed,
Okay.
your picture, your name, your position, and then there are
The
two
color.
circles with the
Okay.
colors. So whoever you're going to meet to have any discussion, you know that this person is a red yellow, meaning that this person is a direct
Red,
person.
okay.
So it informs how
Okay.
we even, you know,
Okay.
relate,
Wow.
you know, in the
Wow.
office. So temperament is not only something that helps in the relationship in terms of marriage, but even in the workplace, in
Yeah.
your relationship with
Yeah.
everyone. Once you know yourself, you know the other person. It helps for you to be able to deal with them and deal with them well.
I know you have kids. Have you been able to identify the temperament of your children? At least, if you haven't before, since I started dealing with temperaments and children, have you been able to pick up their temperaments? And do you think that you are doing well when it comes to their training and, you know, making them walk in the way God wants them to be?
Yeah, I think on that, both of us, we've been able to agree to identify.
Okay.
Identifying whether a child is a choleric, sanguine, and then phlegmatic, melancholy. Once you're looking at introvert and extrovert, it's very easy to detect.
Very, very easy.
The hard part is distinguishing between a choleric and a
Okay,
sanguine,
yeah.
and then a melancholy and
Okay,
then a phleg.
okay.
And I think what we have used is how deep they are when it comes to things. So
Okay.
when something happens, the choleric and the sanguine will react quickly
Okay.
to things.
Okay.
Phlegmatics and melancholies are a bit slow to react. But with the choleric, the reaction is deep. With the sanguine, is on the surface. They
Yeah.
don't go deep.
Yeah.
And then when you look at melancholy and phlegmatic, melancholies, even though they are slow, they are deep.
Yeah.
Phlegmatics are slow, but they are also not very deep. So we've used this, looking at how they react to situation, how they behave, to identify. And we can say that our first daughter is a pure sanguine, but has some
Very, very sanguine. A very sanguine.
Yeah.
I love that girl. Very confident girl. She sees you, she waves. She sees you, she say hello. I mean, you can't bully her.
Yeah. So sanguine, and
Yeah.
then there's also a choleric part. So it makes her very extroverted.
Okay.
So that's for the
Okay.
first. The second is more of melancholy flag. So she is a bit quiet, shy, you know. So all the things you're talking about this evening, we were just sitting there, we're nodding. Then our third, our son, he is a choleric, but is also has some melancholy bits.
So when we start talking about the combinations.
Yeah. So even though he's the youngest, he wants to be the leader.
Wow.
He wants to be the leader. So it always creates that situation where the girls don't allow her, and then you're always having these little issues around. Yeah.
So the first thing or way to identify if your child is, what kind of temperament they are, is whether they are extroverted or introverted. Extroverted is the outgoing people, and then the introverted are the shy, not talking people. I mean, these are the two ways you can. I mean, that is the easiest. And we have two extroverted temperaments. That is choleric, and then the sanguine. And then we have the opposites of each of the temperaments. And for the choleric, the opposite of the choleric is a flag. When you look at a choleric and you look at a flag, you can see that this is direct opposite. And then when you look at the sanguine and you look at the melancholy, it's also direct opposites. I mean, I'm showing you how to get, these are things that come with experience. Yeah. You know, these are things that you might not read in books, but it comes with experience. So you want to know what temperament your child is. You need to know, is she the extroverted? Is easy to make friends, is easy to talk. You know, she goes out, she doesn't mind, she's okay on stage, she's not timid. So at least you know that she's either a choleric or a sanguine. And then the other one is if they are introverted, they are also either phlegmatic or melancholy. And then between the phlegmatic and the melancholies are organized. The melancholies are tidy. The melancholies, they pick one thing, they know where. So there's another way by which, easy way by which you can tell whether. And then the other one, between the sanguine and then the cholerics. Sanguines, number one, they love to shop, they love to spend money, they love partying, they love let's go out, they love I want to go to dinner, I want to go out to eat. I mean, so it's very easy. And then the cholerics are born leaders. But when we talk about born leaders, it's very, very tricky, because when we were in primary school, as long as you were intelligent, you were made a prefect. Not necessarily because you're a choleric, right. You know, so you could be prefect all through your life, but not a choleric. So we'll come to all this. Co-hosts, I hope there are questions for us today.
Gazillions of them.
Yes. Otherwise, we'll go ahead with our discussion.
Lots of questions.
Lots of questions.
Yep, keep them coming through. +23321. Sorry. Keep your questions coming through. +233-200-515253. We are live on Facebook, Sam Crunchy Ankara, on Mama Rita K, and also on Powerline TV, YouTube. Quite a number of complimentary messages coming. We'll take a couple of them, and then we'll go straight to our first question. And Mommy, Reverend Emmanuel Agomeda says, thanks so much, and God richly bless you. Happy anniversary, sir.
Happy anniversary.
Celebrate with you. Nana Ekua Mansa says, Mama Shiloh 1, God bless you. Mami AC Bennett, Mommy, you're looking so great as usual. I love family life, and the attention you are giving to these topics.
Amen.
God bless you abundantly.
Amen.
Then we go straight to our first question for the evening. Says, hello, good evening, Mama Rita.
And so I also have a message from Reverend Ima.
Okay.
Reverend Ima says, thanks for giving us a shout out.
Yep.
Wow.
We love you. Reverend Ima, I love you more. You and Mama mean I love you. You can't do anything about it. And I want you to know that you are my testimony.
Even if you do something about it, we won't do it. All right, we go straight to our first question. Says, hello, good evening, Mama Rita.
Good evening.
My boy is 7 years old, and he started misbehaving a lot. He will talk back when you try to correct him. Today, I got a report from school that he insulted a teacher very well.
Yes.
The father caned him. I advised him. How do I deal with this character? He used to be very quiet until he turned 2. But now, I just have no idea. She continues. We stay in a compound house. Actually, he talks a lot and likes making fun of people. Moreover, he doesn't like correction. When you try to correct him, it's like you are talking too much and he will just get angry. He thinks he's always right. One good side of him is he is very clever and he does not forget things easily. He likes asking questions a lot. How do we deal with our son?
Would you want to try?
Yeah. So
He didn't tell us, or she didn't tell us how old he
He's
is now.
7 now.
7
7.
now. Okay.
yeah. So from what she's described, he likes talking a lot and always sees wrong with you trying to correct him. That shows some sanguine, characteristics or temperament with him. And like you rightly identified, with sanguines, they like to take attention. They like the spotlight to be on them.
Yeah.
And so they are always people's, the people's people. And for him to get the correction that is needed, that is where you need to watch how you correct him. Because, for someone, they always want to have fun, they always want to play, and you have to start explaining why things must be done and why things must not be done. Not just, beating and correcting.
Yeah.
Because they will ask you why. And why has to make sense. So apart from the sanguine bit, you can also see, a bit of, some melancholy, tendency where they want to see reason why something must be done. And he not taking instructions and going and rebelling in school and all that, you need to sit him down. Because if you don't take care, then he falls into the wrong crowd. I mean, when he's doing this in school and the peers are, giving him funds and encouraging him, that will cause him to continue to do this. So you need to bring him close, explain why things must be done the way they ought to be done. If he doesn't get that understanding and it's like, just follow it, we say obey and not complain, you're going to have issues, as they grow. And with the kids of today, apart from the temperament, they are exposed to a lot.
Yeah.
So sometimes, apart from the temperament, the things that they get exposed to, they've gotten a certain information, and you are giving a different information to what they know. You need to be able to explain why this must be done this way, why this cannot be done at this time. Because 7 years, he's seeing 15, 18 teenagers doing things that you are telling him not to do. So why is it okay for Kwesi to do this, but for me, I shouldn't do it? So you need to explain, a lot of explanation and a lot of spending time, and getting the attention that they need. But sometimes lack of attention, they want attention. So they will do stuff, to get attention. So I think you need to be careful. Let's not use corporal punishment. Let's not try and force our way in the child. But let's gradually reason with the child to see the reason in doing what they need to do.
Mama Peggy.
Okay, so what I would like to add is for today's children, if you decide to use a force to correct them, you end up making them more rebellious. So in order to avoid things like that from happening, it's better to show more love to the child, bring the child closer to you and try to reason with the child. It's not going to be a one-day affair. You have to do this every time, every morning before you drop the child at school. You have to let him or her remember that you have to be nice to your teacher, you have to be nice, put on a good behavior, and then sometimes you try to give some reward for putting out a good behavior. So you try to use other means than forcing them or beating. It will not solve the problem.
So we are teaching about temperaments, and the reason why we are teaching about temperaments is for you to know the child. The child talks. He talks in class, teases people. That makes him a sanguine. So number one, like Minister said, sanguines like to be the center of attraction. They like attention. They want to be heard. They want to be seen. But at 7, I think that you still have the upper hand. From now till he becomes a teenager, sit him down, talk to him, let him know that it's not nice to insult a teacher. The following day, sanguines know how to say sorry. The following day, walk him to school, walk him to the teacher to apologize. So work on him gradually at home. Don't kill his confidence. Sometimes what parents do is that when we see the negative sides, we try to bring them down and we end up making them lose their confidence. Now that you know, go back, listen to who a sanguine is, or go online, check about who a sanguine is. Once you know who he is, work on the positives. And sanguines are people who, because they want attention and they want to be the center of attraction, they are easily lured into bad company. So this is the time to work on him, give him the attention, let him know where his strengths are and where his negatives are. Work on him. Tell him it's good to be confident, it's good to talk, but don't talk when the teacher is talking. Don't insult a teacher. It's a very wrong thing. I haven't trained you that way. And in all of this, add prayer to it. Don't continually insult. Don't continually beat. Don't continually tell him you are naughty. As long as you continue to use your mouth to tell him he's naughty, he will continue to be naughty. So praise him on his strengths, and then on the negatives, on his weaknesses, begin to work on it gradually. But the way you are talking, you sound like a melancholy, and you sound very much like a phlegmatic. Unfortunately, we will talk about flex when I get there. Flex don't know how to train children at all. When we get to temperaments and parenting, we will talk about these things.
All right. We'll get there. Let's keep on. We'll move to the next question. Please keep your questions coming through, just like we keep doing. If you're unable to address them in any episode, we are going to have a full Ask Mama Rita session that will deal with all questions that are pending. So,
before your question,
yes, Mama Rita.
Somebody just sent me a message. I don't know. Our media people. The person is asking if we are on live, and that today she can't get YouTube.
Okay.
So I don't know if there's a problem.
It was problematic from the beginning,
but
it's
okay.
been resolved now.
Oh, okay.
So please,
okay.
you can get the link and share with family and friends.
Okay. So please, if you get the link, share with somebody. Yeah. So I'm so sorry, but you will get it.
Awesome. The next one says, "Good evening, Mama Rita. Your dress, dear, is too much on point." And he continues and says, "Thank you for teaching our wives how to dress by how you appear alone."
Thank you.
Then he continues, Mommy, please, what is the best temperament for one to be a president of a country? Don't use the current I'm trying. God help me. Okay, let me tell you. You see, we've had different presidents. We've had John Rawlings, we've had the gentle giant, we had John Mahama, we have Asum Jehine. You see, you have to be careful the kind of temperament you want your child. We have the current president also. I'll want Rita to talk about this one.
So trust me, cholerics are natural leaders. They are born leaders. It's very, very easy for a choleric to be a president. As for that one, it's very, very easy for them. But then, cholerics who are also not trained end up to be the president of Russia. That is the truth. They end up being,
Soviet leaders.
This man, this president, not Gaddafi. The one who killed the Israelites. Hitler. Adolf Hitler is the typical sanguine, choleric. When cholerics are not trained, because they are bullies, they become bullies even when they become president. So that is why it's very, very important to know the temperament of your child and work on the temperament of your child now, especially when it comes to the negatives. Let's work on it. And then even with the positives, let's hammer on it. Let them know that this is their strength. But we've met Atta Mills, who is a phlegmatic. We've met Kwame Nkrumah, Rawlings, who were cholerics. Our current president is a typical sanguine. So it doesn't matter what your temperament is, you can be a president. The only thing is that right from the beginning, let's work on our children. If we don't work on our children, when they grow up and when they enter into leadership, trust me, whatever their negatives are will play back. It will show. And I learned something when I was doing my first degree. The leadership is actually learned. There are people who are born leaders, but there are others who can learn temperaments. So that is why when you are in society, you are in school, you learn from other people. And that is what we talk about when we say leadership being learned. But it doesn't matter what your temperament is, you can be a president. But it's easier, it comes very easy for cholerics. And if you want to ask me what our current president's temperament is, he's a sanguine. That is why he enjoys life. He loves fun. He doesn't mind. Hey, please.
God willing, we will buy luxury yachts and planes in the skies. We'll do things.
You can tell that this is a typical sanguine.
Love our president, whether you like it or not. All right, Mommy. Next message says, good evening, Mama Rita.
Good evening, my
you
darling.
Look so beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you for this timely and insightful topic. Please, I want you to help us conclude a debate that is hot in our house at the moment.
Hey.
My husband's temperament. He's calm.
Calm. Okay.
Calculated. Very responsible.
Very responsible.
Extremely helpful.
Helpful.
And a loving gentleman.
Loving gentleman.
Talking for yourself. He likes to get things done no matter how tired or late it is. He's always everywhere and will go out of his way to support people even if it is at his detriment. He can give the last amount he has on him even though he needs it even the most. This is one of the things I've been trying to draw his attention to. He doesn't seem to understand it, and he always wants to do it his way. Please help us settle this. What is his temperament?
If you ask me from what you have told me, he could be a melancholy. Melancholies are so organized even when they are tired, especially for the women. Even when they are tired, they are washing dishes. When they are tired, they are doing laundry. When they are tired, unless that if the person is a melancholy and the person is not very organized, it means that the second temperament is, working on, or maybe her melancholy or his melancholy might be the second one. But melancholies are naturally very, very helpful people, very, very helpful people, very organized. They go out of their way to do things for people. So he could be a melancholy. But now, if I could have more, if he's not spending too much, if he knows how to keep the money, the family finance. Cholerics are very good with keeping family finance. They are very, very judicious in the way they spend money. So he could be number one, a melancholy, and then number two, maybe when we start talking about the combination, we will talk about it. But the way you spoken, I think he's a melancholy.
Yeah. He's calm.
He's calm, melancholy. Yeah. So he's calm.
He's calm.
Melancholy.
Calculated.
Melancholies are calm. Yeah. Flex are calm. Very calculated. Yeah, very melancholies.
Very responsible.
Very responsible melancholies.
Extremely helpful.
Extremely helpful melancholies.
Loving gentleman.
Loving gentleman. It could be melancholy or flag.
And will always go his way even to his own detriment.
He will go his way, a melancholy. Awesome. So it's possible his melancholy number one, and then his second one could be a flag.
And there's a part of the question I decided to take out where she thinks he is choleric and he thinks he's sanguine. Interestingly, the diagnosis, you people are misdiagnosing yourselves.
So let us know what makes you think he's a choleric. Yeah. And let us know what makes you think he's a sanguine. Sanguines, it's very easy to know a sanguine. Sanguines are talkatives.
So, Mommy, one thing, so I'm putting myself in the shoe. One thing I realize is once you're put in a leadership position, you start developing, like you said, leadership is learned.
It's learned.
So some of the qualities that makes a good leader, most of them are choleric traits.
Yes.
So once you start learning them and trying to be a good leader, if you don't take care, that's where the confusion will start.
For instance, Reverend Derek and Mama Della was here. Ever since I knew Mama Della, she's always said she's a choleric. And it's very easy to know. I knew she wasn't a choleric, and I told her she wasn't a choleric. The reason why she saw herself as a choleric, Mama Della is a firstborn.
Right.
Firstborn, you take up leadership role in the house. You become a mother over your siblings. So you think that you were a choleric. Mama Della is intelligent. So I'm sure when she was in school, she was a class prefect. She was a school prefect. She was a cupboard keeper. So these things make you think that you are a choleric. So let us know why you think your husband is a choleric and why he thinks he's a sanguine. Is he a talkative? If he's a talkative, then we would know. If he's a choleric but a melancholy, it's possible that he's getting a bit of the talking from the choleric because they are not talkatives, but they are extroverts. Extroverts talk. I mean, so let us know why you think that he's a sanguine and why he's a choleric and why he himself thinks that he's a sanguine. But with what you have told us so far, it means that he's a male. He's a melancholy.
All right, Mr. and Mrs. Esiedu, we wish you well in there. So the next one is...
So maybe you can add on, let us know.
Yeah. All right, this one says, good evening, Mommy.
Good evening.
My son is an extrovert.
Okay.
Loves people.
Okay.
likes talking a lot, asks lots of questions, very clever. He always wants to talk to people, even talk to people that he has even met for the first time.
Good.
But for some reason, he's very soft and always bullied, especially by his younger sister and friends. What is his temperament?
Okay.
Now she goes to the second part talking about the sister, but I don't know whether I should read or should deal with the son
Let's
first.
deal with the son first.
Okay.
So for everything, she said, typical sanguine. Typical sanguine. If he allows himself to be bullied, then his second temperament will be a flag. So we will say he's a sang flag, a sanguine and a phlegmatic. But for everything you've told us, it means that he's a typical sanguine.
Okay, then my daughter.
You said the daughter too.
Yeah, he's the bullying type.
She's a bullying type.
Always wants to be the leader in the house. She isn't too outgoing like the brother. She doesn't easily make friends. But the few people she calls friends, she sticks to them. She doesn't easily say sorry either when she's wrong. She likes crying a lot. But started speaking early and speaks very well and fluently. What is her temperament?
She's a choleric. Straight away, choleric. You can see that born leader, she's a bully. She talks, but not too much. They are very selective in the friends they make. They talk, but they make sure their talking is based on something. They like to talk on points. And sanguines like to talk about everything. Cholerics are not like that. Though they are extroverts, they are always calculating what they must say. I mean, they talk about deep things. They are talking about politics, talking about economics, talking about books, talking about... so you can see that your daughter is a sanguine, a choleric. So now that you know, work on her negatives. If you don't work on her negatives, she will end up becoming a bully and even take it into marriage. So they are the people that go into marriage and they are fighting their husbands and they are bossy. It's because right from childhood, their negatives or their weaknesses were not dealt with. Anytime you want to add on, you can come in.
All right. There's a message coming from Kulo, who were counselors of Minister and Mrs. Wilson. They said, Mommy, thank you so much.
Wow.
Minister Wilson and sister are watching you live from Germany at the moment.
Wow. So thank you so much for counseling them through premarital counseling. I believe that watching them alone makes you proud, and you know you've done a very good job in them. They have taken over what you handed over to them as being marriage counselors. Thank you so much for the good work you've done in them.
My name is Rabina.
Would you want to say something too?
Okay.
So these are couples that we
okay. I thought they said...
yes. So we actually counsel.
Oh, you counsel them.
Yeah, counselors.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. Oh, so they are counselors. Oh, okay. I thought they counseled you. Oh, okay.
All right.
So I hope that everything they taught you, you are practicing it in your marriage. God bless you. They are in Germany.
Germany.
Oh, okay. I remember them.
Yes.
All right, we'll go straight from Germany to Domiabra. A rabbiner says, Mommy, I am a talkative. I make friends easily, but I like staying indoors. You know, sometimes when you don't have money, it makes you stay indoors. It has nothing to do with temperament. The economy is making everybody flexible. Please, that's not your temperament. Wait till you get more money and then start feeling your friends. You realize that? Don't bring economics. So she wants to know what she is.
So she says she's a talkative, but
makes friends easily, but loves to be indoors.
So she could be a sanguine and a flag. Sanguine flag. So we call it sang flag. We will talk more about the combinations when I get there. Next week, Next week we'll be doing parenting and then temperaments, or temperaments and parenting. I don't know what I'll be doing after, but every week we will do temperament and something. But let's take what my co-host said seriously. I met somebody, and today he's a preacher, Pastor Joe Ajate.
Okay.
When he was here as an organist, he was so quiet, extremely quiet. I didn't know he could even be a pastor. So one day I met him, I said, hey, Pastor Joe Ajate, I didn't know you could talk like this. So he said, Mommy, if you don't have money, he said, if you don't have money,
Control yourself.
you control yourself. Because when you go out, you are careful you don't go and touch somebody's thing and they'll ask you to pay. So because of that, when I was here, I didn't even know what my next meal was going to be. So it made me very, very quiet. So the economy has made us all flexible. Oh my God.
Our time is
Oh
running.
my
We'll probably
God.
take,
Oh my God.
2 questions to finish up this episode.
Oh my God.
This person says, good evening, Mama Rita.
Good evening.
I am an indoor person. I don't like stress at all. I don't like talking either. I don't like associating myself with others because I feel like staying in my one corner and hopefully to avoid any form of trouble. Please, who am I?
Please answer.
So this is a typical phlegmatic who enjoys peace and harmony. They don't like, things to come
worry
and
them.
disturb. So if you're giving any bad energy, negative energy, they will avoid you, they will withdraw. So they want to stay in their one corner, they want to be by themselves. So all the things he said is a typical phlegmatic.
Typical flag. And their stress level is always very low. We all did the tests in UK. Mawena is a typical choleric. Did the tests. Guess what her stress level was? 26.
Very high.
I need to ask over what. I'm not sure over what. But her stress level is 26. Then Pastor Naka also did hers. Guess what the phlegmatic stress was? 3. They don't care about anything. They sit in their corner and they are okay.
They manage stress.
They manage
very
stress so well.
They
So
don't
well,
allow
so well.
things to get.
Oh, they don't allow things
They will
to.
just withdraw.
Oh, the economy doesn't worry them at all. They come, they put on their TV, sit behind their TV, watch their TV, and they are laughing. If you get the typical, we'll get to temperaments and partners. If you have a husband who is a flag, my darling, you are going to family a year, they won't go. You are going to family outdooring, they won't go. Family, they always want to. They are comfortable in their corner. My darling, if it worries you, you will kill yourself. You must know your partner, know the way they are, and move on. Don't worry yourself about they not following you to the year. Otherwise, every day you cry. We will get there.
All right. So we go to probably our final question.
Hey.
For those of you who are sending messages, see, the messages come to me first before they go to mommy. So those of you asking questions about my temperament, this will be the last episode. I won't answer that one. So mommy, this will probably be the last one.
Oh, my God.
I am melancholic with a little trait of the phleg. Please, how do I cope with my partner who is a clear choleric? I feel he's very authoritative and doesn't give me any iota of attention. Please help me.
She is what? A phlegmatic?
Yes.
Okay.
No. Melancholy.
A melancholy,
with a
okay.
little trait of the
Flag.
phleg. Yeah.
Okay.
So
With a husband who is a choleric.
yes. So for being introvert, the person being an extrovert, that should be able to work. So one would like to talk, one would like to listen. But where you're going to have some clashes. Both of you are deep people. Whilst you are deep in thinking, they also want to take the lead. Now, for melancholies, they don't do very well when it comes to when you are bossy over them. Melancholies don't do very well, in that. And cholerics always want to take the lead. So what I suggest you do is, you are the more reasoning type. Cholerics don't like to be challenged in the public.
Yeah.
So when he says something or he does something you don't agree with, because you are more reasoning, find a nice way to point it out, or find a nice way out of the public view to point out the things that you are seeing and you are thinking that this is how it should go. The differences should complement each other. So even when you are making suggestions to the person, the person would have to feel that I am the one taking the decision. Don't try to match up in terms of who is leading, who is calling the shots. You can lead from behind, and that will bring some peace. But if you are trying to also let your melancholy part play a role, then it becomes a lot of a problem. And then again, melancholies will always fill their minds with a lot of why this is happening. The person that is it because they don't love me, or is it because no? Understand the weaknesses and then the strengths, and then complement each other, rather than trying to compete. This will be more problematic if the person reading the message is the man, and then the woman is a correct. But if it's the other way around, you, the woman, Pastor Chifape, is the woman who is the melancholy.
Exactly.
So in playing your role as the support, this you are like an arsenal in your husband's camp, because you do a lot of the reasoning and provide.
The arsenal, is it a football type?
No.
Weapon.
You are a weapon,
Oh, okay. Basa fans, we greet you. All the best in Europa. Please go ahead.
You do the reasoning and come up with, the facts to support him in his leadership. He leads, but you give, the support. As the Bible says, wives are support and the husband is the head. So this temperament of the two of you should actually help you in the marriage. But where you try to, correct him in public because you've thought of what he's saying and you think is wrong, that is going to get his negatives or his weakness showing more. Because melancholies don't like being challenged in public and being corrected and you taking the leadership. It's like power struggle. They don't like that. So I think that's the best way to go about the...
Mama Peggy.
Okay, so I'll just add a little. So what I will add is that they should try and work out their differences indoors and then talk more and try to work around it. So that's the best way out. Show more respect.
So my darling, we will come to temperaments and your partner. When we come to temperaments and your partner, you would understand your choleric husband more. The truth is, cholerics are not romantic. Number two, cholerics do not know how to give attention. So if you don't learn it that way, that my husband doesn't know how to give attention. Number two, my husband is not romantic. Number three, my husband doesn't know how to say sorry. We are not saying that they can't work on their weaknesses. They can. But what we are saying is that until they work on their weaknesses, or until she works on her weaknesses, this is the way she is, or this is the way he is. So help her or help him come out of their weaknesses. The choleric wife is bossy. That is what you must know. So the choleric husband is also bossy. The choleric husband is not romantic. The choleric husband doesn't give attention. They see everything as trivial. You know, it's not necessary. What is necessary for you is not necessary for them. Right. Unfortunately, as a melancholies too, things worry them. Little things worry them. If you don't say good morning, they have a problem.
It's true.
If you don't say I love you, they have a problem.
Very true.
If you don't say good night, they have a problem.
If you don't say your hair is nice.
If you don't say your hair is nice, you have a problem. Before you speak, they've thought about, they've gone miles out.
Right.
So unfortunately, this is the problem with the temperaments. That is why we say that each of you must help each other. He must help you with your negatives, with your weaknesses, and you also help him with his negatives and his weaknesses. So make room for your husband. Know that this is the way he is. And if this is the way he is, when he does it, don't let it bother you. If he doesn't say sorry, don't let it bother you. Now my husband can say sorry. He wasn't like that. Over time, the Holy Ghost worked on him. The Holy Ghost has worked on me. So as believers, we must allow the Holy Ghost and the Word of God to work on our weaknesses. And where our strength is, lest you use your strength to cover his weaknesses. And he also must use his strength to cover your weaknesses. And then it balances so well. But we will talk about temperaments and your partner. And then I believe that when we get there, everybody will understand. Are you done?
I just want to acknowledge Elmat P.
Okay.
Thank you for the outfit with a touch of pink. I also want to remind everyone, especially our dear ladies, this week ends the free breast screening across most hospitals and most clinics. Kindly take advantage and do a free screening. Don't just stay in your room and say your husband is screening you. It is good, but move to the experts, let them screen you as well. Elmat P, thank you. You can reach Elmat P on 054-283-4232. 054-283-4232. Wherever you are, she will get you a great outfit and deliver to your destiny. Thank you very much. Mommy,
I would want you to read, because last week they sent that question and we said we're going to handle it this week. So please, let's go through it quickly. We answer it and we'll be done.
All right, says, I've been helping out my man and agreeing to compromise on a lot of things. Sometimes I feel regrettable because he seems ungrateful. I did quite a lot of things to help him out, using my pay slip to secure a facility for him, and which I am still paying for, feeding the entire family whilst he was unemployed. And I have only been paid back by many years of cheating by my husband. And this started right from when I was pregnant. 2 months he packed out to continue with the same woman that I keep complaining about. It's been a year. Though we talk, but we are living separately. Mama Rita, he's refused to file a divorce and enjoying his life like a single man with other women. Please, what do I do? Do I take the initiative and move ahead and file for the divorce? Because I need to have my life back on track. I feel broken by this event. I'm trusting God. I need your advice for my healing. Please help me.
Minister and Mama Peggy.
So, Mommy, if we are looking at this in terms of temperament, with what we are discussing, I mean, you can tell the man is more of a choleric, and the woman is more of a melancholy, who would go out of her way to help, to do stuff, and then, you know, and with melancholies, one of the things, one of the weaknesses is for you to relapse and brood over issues and get a lot of, you know, pain, bitterness from something that could have, you know, probably been discussed. A counselor would come in, and then you could have a resolution. But melancholies, by their nature, even when the issue is discussed and they are not fully satisfied, 2-3 weeks, months down the line, they will go back, brood over it, and have the same emotions as if, you know, it's happening now. He, being a typical choleric, if he doesn't want to sign the divorce, you will not make him sign. It's what he wants to do that he will do. I would say, let's look at the whole issue again. Is there a way we can come back to the table to have a discussion, bring, you know, someone in to look at what went, you know, wrong? You're expecting him to have said sorry, to apologize, and cholerics do not say sorry easily. That's one of their weaknesses. So if you dwelt on that and also, you know, typical melancholy, something happens and then their head is filled with so many ideas.
Thinking about
even
it.
if the thing is not happening, maybe there are instances because your mind is filled with so much, you know, information. Probably, I'm not saying this is what happened. Your actions may be what pushed him out to, you know, move to this lady. Yes, they may have been something that you have seen, but, you know, the right thing is to sit down, discuss it. If you're expecting sorry will not come. But let's deal with the issue and resolve it and move on. Otherwise, then, you know, we are pushing the other person who is also, you know, headstrong in whatever they are doing. So yes, I would leave and then I would move on and divorce would not happen. If we can, you know, get counselors involved, sit down, re-look at the issue, look at where, who went wrong. For every issue, everybody would have contributed, even if it's 99.1%. Try and reconcile, heal, forgive, and let's see how, you know, because I don't see this going the way. I'm not hearing of abuse. I'm not hearing of, you know, anything of that sort that may push for this. That's my thinking. But
Mama Peggy.
So I would say in every situation, there's always the spiritual aspect. So as believers, he should also consider praying about the situation first. Even before you bring in elders to talk, you must pray about the situation first and get that conviction before you move to the next level. Otherwise, the meeting can happen, but you may not get any results.
So, my darling, number one, prayer. Number two, get counselors to come into the case. For all you know, it's nothing too huge. It's something that can be solved. Like Minister is saying, your husband could be a choleric. He could also be a sanguine. Sanguine are very, very playful. Very playful. And they like to play through everything. Even in marriage, they are playful. So for all you know, his playfulness is part of he going for other ladies. He sees it as he's playing. So if you think that you can make counselors come into it, let them come into it, and then look through the case. But if you've looked at everything and you think that you still want a divorce, then you can go ahead and then apply for it. But you said something like you were helping and blah, 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 blah. And after you helped, you gave to him, now he has it and he's looking at other girls. There's something that gives me peace and cools me down. The Bible says that anybody that pays evil for good, evil will not depart from your house. So anytime I show kindness, and instead of the person showing me back with kindness, shows me back with evil, I leave the person in the hands of the Lord. It's God himself that will pay him back with evil. So my darling, number one, prayer. Number two, you can get counselors or your pastors to come into the case. If you have tried everything and you still think that this thing will not work, you can go ahead for the divorce. Forget about whatever you have done for him. Trust me, he will pay. Unfortunately, we have gone beyond our time. We will come your way same time, same day next week. But please, this is the last Wednesday in the month of October. Take advantage. Pink month. Breast cancer awareness. Check now before it is too late. Next week, I am coming your way with temperaments and parenting. Have a good night. Thank you for watching Family Life.